Come with me as I update my Amazon wish list for my birthday month.
Do you see incidents? Some real life happening.
Hi book friends, welcome back to my channel. I am a Jen who reads, and it's April, which means it's my birthday month. I'm the big 4-3 this year, if you can believe it. I can't believe it. I don't feel 43, that's for sure. So I went and took a trip to Barnes & Noble's, and I updated my Amazon wish list. So I want to share the things on my Amazon wish list to you, and I would love for you to give me any feedback. If there is something on there that you see that you have read and you loved, I would love to know about that. If there is a book that you think I would like that you don't see on the Amazon wish list, please let me know so that I can add it. I will have the link to the wish list listed below in the description. So I do have my handy dandy notebook here, and I'm not going to go over every single book, but I am going to read the synopsis for a few of the new ones that I put on there. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is The Book That Wouldn't Burn. This is the first book in the library trilogy by Mark Lawrence. And here's the little synopsis blurb from Goodreads. It says, "A boy has lived his whole life trapped in a vast library, older than empires and larger than cities. A girl has spent hers in a tiny settlement out on dust, where nightmares stalk and no one goes. The world has never noticed them, but that is about to change." I have heard such good things about this book on book social media, and the second book in the trilogy is going to release soon. So I'm excited to get it and read it so that I can pick up the second book and be caught up. The next one is one that I actually did not see when I went to Barnes & Noble's, but I did hear about it on somebody's social media, and that is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Islington or Islington. I've heard it both ways on Booktube, so we're just going to say Islington. This tells the story of Vis, a young orphan who was adopted by one of the social political elites of the hierarchy. Vis is tasked with entering a prestigious magical academy with one goal. He is to ascend the ranks, figure out what the other major branches of government are doing, and report back. I don't think that this summary really goes into all of the great things that I've heard about this series. So I really encourage you to look up some more in-depth summaries about this book if you're interested. The next one is one that I have actually seen and heard about so many times, and I have no idea why it wasn't on my wish list before. And that is The Bone Shard Daughter. So The Bone Shard Daughter is the first in a trilogy by Andrea Stewart. It involves a magic system that has something to do with bone shards. It also includes an emperor's daughter who is locked away because her father does not want her to be an heir. And so she decides that she's going to prove him wrong, and she decides to start learning this bone shard magic. The books are beautiful, and they would look beautiful on my shelves. The next one is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. And I have heard this one described as it's like The Witcher, but instead of killing beasts, there's a girl who kills gods until she comes upon one that she can't kill. The cover of this one and the second one are just beautiful, and this is one that I've had my eye on for a while, so I decided to put it on my wish list. The next one is the only YA on my list, and it is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I have heard very, very mixed reviews on this. And so it says, Effie is the only female architect student at her university. Her design is chosen to rebuild the manor of the most famous author of her country before he died. This is dark academia with mystery and romance. I have a collection on one of my shelves of epic fantasy collections that I have not read yet, and I don't know when I'm going to read them. I kind of joke and say that they'll be what I read when I retire. So I have almost the entire Wheel of Time on there. I have some stuff by Joe Abercrombie. What else do I have? I have a few books by Robin Hobb. And one of the books that I want to add to that is Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And this is the first book in the Bloodsworn trilogy. This is a Norse-inspired world, myth, magic, and bloody vengeance. It is set in a world where the gods have already warred and they drove themselves into extinction. Honestly, the cover is what drew me into this one. The next one I've heard all over the place, and I actually went to Barnes & Noble's to get it, and they didn't have it. That's Powerless by Lauren Robert. This is an adult fantasy for fans of Sarah J. Maas. It is about a forbidden romance between a powerful prince and an ordinary girl as they try to survive their kingdom's grueling laws, which are pitting them against each other. And I do know that the second book in this, I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Comes out very soon. I think it comes out in April. Some of the other books that I've had on there for a while are The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I've read everything by her so far. I love her adult writing more than I like her YA writing. I don't know very much about this, and that's on purpose. I do know that it is set in the Spanish Golden Age, which is very intriguing to me. I have Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. This is one that I have seen a lot on the tables at Barnes & Noble, and it's always drawn me in, so I decided to add it. The Farseer Trilogy by Robin Hobb. Actually, anything by Robin Hobb I would love to collect. I've never read anything by Robin Hobb, but I've heard many, many, many amazing reviews. I have the entire backlist that I don't currently own of Brandon Sanderson on my wish list. I just got into him last year, and I just finished Elantris, and I am sucked in and completely at his mercy. I can't wait to read everything that he's written. This book was very intriguing to me just because of the author. It's by Tracy Wolff. It's Starbringer, and she is the author who wrote the Crave series, which I absolutely loved. So I thought that this book would be a good one to have in my collection and read one day. The next one is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This is the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and I have seen this all over the place, and I've seen it in bookstores, and I've seen it on social media. But just recently, it seems like I have seen a lot of people talking about it. And I do have the second book in the trilogy I found at a thrift store. So I went ahead and put the first one on there. Don't know when I'll get around to it. It's a chunky book, but I would love to have it in my collection. I have The Witch's Guide to Fake Dating by Sarah Hawley. I think that looks like such a cute book. City of Brass. This is the first book in the Daevabad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. This is one that I've wanted to read for a while. Just never got around to reading it. Just never got around to buying it. The next one is I don't even know how to say it. The Belgariad series. I think there's 5 books in this. This is by David Eddings. And the reason this one is on my list is because I have heard my brother talk about it in the past, but I watched a video of this booktuber, and I can't remember who it was. I'm really sorry. I think it might have been Captured in Words. But of their top 10 favorite fantasy books of all time, and this was in there. So I read about it, and it does seem pretty interesting. Again, not one that I'm going to get to anytime soon, but still would be a cool one to have. This one is a middle grade book, The Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. I'm a middle school teacher. I love reading middle grade books. I love reading books that I could potentially read to my class. And this one is by T. Kingfisher, and I absolutely love everything I've ever read by T. Kingfisher in the past. This is one that's been on my radar for a while, and that is A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. This one used to be on KU, but it was taken off before I got around to it. I feel like this is one I need to read in the winter time. So I probably won't read this one anytime soon either, but it's on there so that I don't forget that I want to read it. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. It's the only thing by her I haven't read, so I would like to give that one a try and see if it's, stands up to all the hype. And this one is one I saw just on a shelf at Barnes & Noble's, and I've never heard anything about it, but it looks really cool and it sounds really cool. And that is The Girl Who Could Move Shit with Her Mind. And this is by Jackson Ford. There are other books in this series as well. But I just thought that this sounded like a really cool book that I haven't heard anywhere else. Something that I did not add to my list yet, but I do want to, is the first and the second book that are the companions to That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. I think the next one is, oh, here they are on the back. The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and The Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted Love Potion at a Werewolf. I love that. Also, I freaking love this cover. This was definitely a cover buy for me. So I do need to add those two onto my wish list. So anyways, take a look at my wish list, and I hope I get some of these from friends and family for my birthday. I would love to do a birthday book haul video. I think that would be a lot of fun. So anyways, until next time, happy reading.